Hey, welcome. I'm home and I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning. I'm back, which is good because I've been able to post some videos and post a few updates onto the Case Blue forum. So if you have a chance, pop in over there. And also pop into the Blocks in the West page, as I posted some gameplay shots there of Blocks in the West. You may also know that, of course, I recently just got back from Italy. And in fact, that was Sunday night. And that's why I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. So, had a great time and managed to catch up with Emanuele. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. But had a great time, caught up with him, caught up with the Casaspelli guys in Rome who are wargamers extraordinaire at the conference they were at, and spent the majority of Friday with them playing games. And my son, either under pressure or through sheer charm of the Italian accent, was wooed into playing Napoleonic game Command and Colors. And he had a great time. He almost won, and there was lots of cheering and yelling going on, and he had a good time. And Emanuele was then generous enough to give him a couple of games. Did I bring them down with me? No, I didn't. All right. I'll have to wait for another video post. So the in the house part of this video will be now shorter for you. So 2 games that are probably more Euro style resource management, accumulate victory points through either conflict or growing things type of games, with a suitable kind of medieval flavor to them. So that's one game, and the other game is based on some movie about Nazis on the moon or something like that. So that should be fun too. So we've got 2 new games to try, and my son spent some of the time on the plane on the way home reading the rules. Who would have thought my son, who really doesn't like to read, would read the rules? Love that. That's what's going on there. Rome was great, and I don't think I really need to talk about it. It was great from a historical perspective, great as a dream fulfillment for me. Pleased to be able to spend one-on-one time with my son, who is 13, and show him around Florence, where I've been before, and then we explored Rome together despite bad weather, fairly cold conditions, given the clothing that we had with us. And talk more about that some other time if it's relevant. So real quick, a couple of news items. I have only played a little bit of this game, not as much as I would like to. And now the time is upon us that there is a Kickstarter, a new revised Kickstarter coming out for the East Front expansion for this game. And I had a email exchange with Brian from Collins Games, and Collins Epic War Games. And this sounds really exciting. I think he's got some cool ideas for the Kickstarter. I will have some interesting tidbits for you, and a few little preview items for you over the next few days that will perhaps pique your interest. If you're interested in fast playing, good tactical level CDG game that comes with tiles and all sorts of stuff to make it more visually appealing than just having it on the table, this is a cool game to get hold of. The second little promo thing I wanted to talk about, Space Infantry is on sale, 40% off, and New Worlds is 40% off as well. I think that makes it slightly cheaper than the actual pre-order price. I love this game. I'm not into solo games very much. I just tend to feel like I'm playing against the system's playing me versus me playing the system, or whatever the case may be. I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. I like this one. I like it because it has great, there's a really good story and theme that comes out, and you feel like you're always on the edge of losing, and in fact it is very hard to win most of the scenarios, but it's a lot of fun when you actually tie it together in a campaign. That's what I'm doing right now, and I'm actually going to use the campaign to write a story, and those stories will be based on however the campaign turns out. So if the lead character dies, then the lead character dies, and we will work out what we do with it from there. But it's going to be a cool little story. It's all about a massive conspiracy in space in the future. We'll look at that later. I found my rules. I was trying to get this game played before the end of the year as from my list of 10 things I wanted to get done before the year end. This is probably now not going to make it. It's inadvertently away in this box, in this space infantry box. They've been missing for 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and it's really pissed me off, actually. It's put me behind on that. So I am going to be playing Hitler Turns East instead. Blitzkrieg 41, because I had to pack it up because I couldn't find the rules. Really annoying. Stupid guy. I must be getting old. So we're going to do that. So that's a little news bit there. I think I got this for $10 or $12. I've got Avalon Hill's Stalingrad. I've got Avalon Hill's D-Day. I needed Bulge. I mean, I just had to have it right. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Okay. Given how much my 11-year-old, who's now 12, he turned 12 while I was away, enjoyed playing D-Day with me, we're going to play Battle of the Bulge. And in fact, we'll probably do that this week. So over the next few weeks, I'm hoping that you will see a smattering of gameplay with a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old, and hopefully both of them together and me talking to them about the games. I'm also going to be trying to do a review of Bulge, or whatever it's called, I forget. I've played it a small handful of times, and I quite like it, but I thought it might be interesting to get the viewpoint of a person who doesn't play war games, and a young person who doesn't play war games, who is very iPad and iPad-centric and iPad-savvy, and see how they experience the game and interact with the game right off the bat with however they choose to engage with the game, whether it's read the tutorial or play the tutorial or read the rules or not read the rules. How do they engage with the game? And so we're going to look at it from that perspective. So not sure how I'm even going to film that, but we'll see. We'll do that later. Ugh. I know. I'm really interested in this game, and I think... okay, if you haven't seen this box, it means you're not interested in the coin series from GMT, nor are you interested in card-driven games. You may wonder why, Captain Hex Encounter over here, the guy who made videos that upset people about Twilight Struggle, whatever. I'm doing a review of the game, and I'm going to play it solo, which is probably not the optimal way to do it. I had put the invitation out to the small group of guys that I play face-to-face with, and it was basically rejected, resoundingly. They didn't want to play. And they didn't come out and say that they didn't want to play, but there was lots of umming and ahhing. Types of games that I am curious about, but don't get a chance to play with people. What we'll do is give it a go, see how we feel about it, write up our notes and thoughts, post some video, and I'm going to be giving the review to the Panzer Digest to do what they want to do with it. And I'll be trying to write something based on their guidelines and with their level of detail that they're looking for, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm also had the last couple of months have had the chance to introduce a couple of different games to the Board Gaming Show, which is a podcast that occurs on BGG and on the website at the Board Gaming Show. And I think this week I'm actually going to be doing a session on space infantry, so we'll talk about space infantry with them. So if you're interested in learning more about space infantry, you don't know much about it, I'll be talking about that on the podcast, which will probably come out in a week or two. That's kind of fun. It's hard to do a podcast. I really am far more appreciative of all the effort that guys like the Advanced After Combat folks, the effort they put into their podcast with 3 people on a call, all trying to communicate with each other without a script and without, and dealing with all the interjections and things like that. It's a very challenging exercise to go through. It's not like this where I'm videoing and I can edit myself out and correct myself or do stuff over. Although you tend to get 98% unvarnished me regardless. So my hat's off to all the podcasters out there. I think you guys do a fabulous job. So I'll be doing that. So look for that. It's more of actually a Euro style podcast. It doesn't really have a wargaming focus per se. It does have a wargaming segment, and that's the part that I'll be participating in on a semi-frequent basis. The board gaming show is interesting to me because it represents an opportunity for me to speak to people about war games, even if it's only just for 5 minutes or 4 minutes in a hour-long show, and while we've got their attention, talk to them about war games and share with them that they're cool and they're interesting and they're fun, and try and propagate that out a little bit to others. So I see that as an opportunity for me to, in a positive context, come and try one. Come and try one of these war games. They're not scary. They're interesting. They're generally about historical topics, and they have a story and a narrative, just like your Euro game or your Ameritrash game does. They're worth having a look at. So, not quite a community service project, but it really is and I find it really hard to do those segments. Much harder than, well, this is hard too, but I'd rather just do stop motion videos and talk about the games while I'm playing them and stuff. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop talking about this and get on with whatever else it is I want to talk about. What else did I have that I wanted to talk to you about? The podcast, the games, Distant Plane. I saw some really interesting stuff at this Italian conference, and we need to do a separate session on that. I want to talk about some of the innovations that are going on in board gaming, and some things in miniatures that I saw, and the kind of a crossover of those elements. I saw 2 or 3 games that I thought might be kind of cool, and given that my Sergeant's Kickstarter purchase did not go through, my transaction did not complete, and I was unaware of that, I am now not receiving a massive 17-pound box of 300 and something crazy dollars worth of Sergeant's miniatures. So I've got $300 to burn between now and the end of the year, as long as my wife doesn't find out about it. I'm thinking I may look at another miniatures skirmish style. In the meantime, get started with Case Blue fairly seriously soon. Case Blue GB2. We'll get as far as we can go. We'll see if it's manageable. I have to see how that all works out. I'm not sure what we'll do, right? How far we'll get. So kind of bear with me and cheer me on a little bit if you can. And I'm going to be looking to you guys to try and help out with some of the strategy, particularly for the Soviets. So there's that. There's Hitler Turns East that I will be starting in the next day or two. I'll be playing some Command and Colors Napoleonics and a couple of these other Euro-y things. And Distant Plane soon and Battle of the Bulge. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm playing Red Winter online with my buddy Steve Arthur. That is kind of on a bit of a hiatus. I'm hoping to play tonight to get caught up. We'll get 2 or 3 turns done tonight. And then we'll be moving straight into Panzers in the Ardennes, or no, what's it called? Iron Tide, Panzers in the Ardennes. So, got to have a bulge game for December, right? What else? I think that's it. That's probably too much. Talk to you soon.